Hello, my friends. We're here in California, Southern California. We're in the middle of one of these big atmospheric river storms, and um, we battened down the hatches for several days now, and it's very welcome. It's an unusually early rain for us, and so if the climate is all kafui, I'm glad that we're getting the good end of it. So welcome. Speaking of rain, what I was thinking of for our loop of awareness today is an acknowledgement that we're primarily water. That when I talk, I use a lot of water metaphors and think of our loop of awareness in our practice. One of the functions is to fill our reservoirs. And since we are primarily water, I was wanting to have you choose what's the flow of water that we can also use as the flow of the loop of awareness. And what flow would be most nourishing for you. So some of them that I'm thinking of are a mountain stream, how much I'd love, sitting next to and letting the mountain stream percolate inside. There's the flow. It could be the flow of a river. It could be, very often I will use the image of that we're in an essence ocean, and that's where we're resting. And then sometimes there are waves that come through, and we ride those waves and then return to the essence ocean. So the wave energy, the energy of currents, I'd like you to choose a kind of a flow that feels most nourishing for you. So it could be the swirling, it could be like the sprinkling that you would experience, if you were in a shower, or you're out in the rain when it's just starting. So let yourself tune into these different elements of water and sense into which one speaks to you the most. And I'd like you to take that into your loop of awareness, that you're letting your awareness flow out. For me, it was really like the wave coming into shore is the rhythm and the kind of flow that I want. And so I'm going to let it flow out, and then I'm going to let it flow back into and getting absorbed into me. And so I'd like you to let yourself play with the flow of the loop of awareness and letting it flow out and out wherever it lands outside of you, and then flowing back into you, and then flowing out again, and letting your body respond to letting the flow of attention come back to you, letting it, like I'm feeling it, soaking in, and this sense of release and that I'm getting in my own body, and I'm letting my body respond to that. And that takes me into some of the fear melters. So for me, that takes me into oozing. So notice if your flow of attention, as you let it go out and you let it come back to you, what kind of flow that creates inside you and around your body. And let yourself just participate with that for a moment or two. And I find that I also want to add a to it, and I want to add movement. And so that one for me goes into wiggle. So if you let your loop of awareness really flow into fear melters, you're going to get that circulation all the way through your body. And my feet were just saying to me, what about me? What about me? Don't I get to be included? And I was just feeling my feet at the edge of the ocean, where the foam goes out and then it flows in and it settles around my feet. So letting yourself play with the imagery of the flow and the quality of the flow of your loop, and how that resonates through your body. And let yourself just do that for a couple of minutes. I'm going to do that also. Feel free to add sound and movement, because part of this also is waking us up out of the trance that the culture wants us to be in right now. So here I am, and I'm waking up to all of the different energies that I can experience in my body, and especially the surrounding of the love and attention, which allows me to be here in an easy way. Yeah, beautiful. And then just notice if there's any movement that wants to happen with your loop of awareness. And it only takes a couple of minutes, as we know, to change your state. So you could let this flow be a little 2 minute respite that you give yourself anytime during the day. So the tendency is to push through, to jump over, to stop what's going on. So giving yourself that recognition. It was reminding me of some recent research and that I was reading, that if you let yourself notice, like, this part of my work is complete, and now I'm turning to this, that sense of completion, just like within when the wave comes into the shore and then it backs out again, and then there's new energy. So you can use this as a marker in your day to go, that's complete, and now I'm open for the next flow that's wanting to come. So that's what I want to do with loop of awareness. And also, I'd love for you, the love scoops. The way I'm thinking of love scoops right now is really welcoming. So I'd like you to just bring in welcoming, whatever it is you'd like to welcome today. And also anything that's going on right now that you're having difficulty welcoming, to just go ahead and bring it on in. No, this is all part of what's going on. I'm going to welcome whatever is happening, and then letting yourself welcome any sensations, any inner experiences that you're having. So love scoops, we think of, I have to get something that I don't have and bring it in so that I'll be better than I was, so that I can feel love even for just a little bit. But if you're welcoming, if you're letting yourself welcome whatever is happening and bringing it in, it's all energy. And one of the things William Blake said that I love is that energy is eternal delight. Energy is eternal delight. And if we welcome energy, then we can choose how we experience and how we use it and how we share it in the world. So I just love the welcoming, and any place that you're wanting to welcome any feelings or experiences that you're using a lot of energy to keep out, just go ahead and welcome them. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of what you're experiencing. And as you let your loop of awareness flow, I find that, water is water, and it depends on how we structure it and how we try to aim it and how we try to restrict it. But the water is who we are. And so welcoming what's happening with it right now and how I can be with, is when I be with, that's really a form of love. If I can be in the same space with something. So I just find that the welcoming, also these gestures and including these gestures, really open up so much more of your awareness rather than just living here. Because most of society wants us to live here and they just don't care about the rest of us. So it's really our job to love ourselves and to include and to welcome and to use all of the energy that is available to us. So I wanted to share that with you. And Darlene is assisting me Michelle is out on adventures in the world. And so thank you, Darlene, for assisting today. And what I'd love for you to do is to bring up the collage now. Because what we're experimenting with has direct impact. So letting your flow go out into this picture and just noticing how you experience that opportunity of stepping out into the universe, whether you experience that as committing or opening to wonder or turning toward the mystery. I'd like you to then bring your attention, your back to you, and notice how you're absorbing, how you're experiencing the big openness, the big unknown. So really each step that we take is into the unknown. So just notice how that is for you right now. And these are some of my favorite colors that this person is, I think this little one is stepping into. And activating also our little one inside. So as you let yourself shift your attention from the collage and back to you, I'd like to read the sentence and then the question. I recognize and use my whole body yes signals to choose which agreements I want to make. That's a biggie. So I'm going to read it again. Well, and notice if your loop stopped at any place there, or if you had fear arise, and just notice how that arises in you. I recognize and use my whole body yes signals to choose which agreements I want to make. So notice it's not I have to or I should, but that I want. So just consider the option of wanting to make an agreement, of choosing, of proactively saying yes to an agreement from your whole body experience. And here's the question: what can I draw on from my whole body wisdom to select agreements I do want to make? Because we get all kinds of pressures connected with agreement. So letting yourself notice as you're looping here, what's the quality of yes in your whole body in relationship to agreements? So when someone says, would you like to, or I need, or makes a request, and that comes at you, that's attention coming toward you. And do you welcome that? Does your body close the doors, or does your body open up in that welcoming that we were playing with earlier? So for me, and we can come on back to the big group, I want to say a few more things about. So for me, yes, and we have whole experiences where you can tune into yes, but for me, the heart of yes is both an uprising. So I feel energy up the front of my body, especially, and in expansion. So there'll be it's really for me kind of the beginning of the welcoming move in my body. I feel an uprising. And for me, a no is almost always a narrowing. No, and if it's really a big no, I can sometimes even hear it inside. It goes, no, don't do that. But the ones that most often trip me up are the little ones like, oh, this just wouldn't be so bad if you did this. This is just, they hardly ever make these requests of you. And what are you doing anyway? You're just playing and having fun. You should make contributions. So your inner I don't know, your inner authoritarian can speak up and just kind of go. It's sort of like the little devil on your shoulder. It goes, oh, this is not going to make any difference. But I have found that it's the little no's that really trip me up. That because I can get a whole bunch of little requests, that really are like I have new rugs in the bathroom, and we have a certain kind of shoe that always catches on the rug and then gets it all messed up. So you can like just a little no that you don't respond to. And we get so much of what our brain does is about no. And that's so that we don't have to be dealing with every little stimulus that's coming in. But we don't really give as much attention. We're hardwired for no. We're really not hardwired for yes. And so part of what I really give attention to is how can I recognize a yes for me? What are the signals of yes? And so this could be an opportunity for you to visit that again of what really lets me know that this is, oh, yes, that I'm wanting to open, turn toward. And so letting those signals be part of your inquiry this week, I think can be very valuable for you, because going into the unknown, even if it's a yes, is likely to bring some fear, because you're breaking up a pattern. You're letting yourself open rather than being guarded. And, we've had, over here, we've had 10 years of being guarded. And so emphasizing, where's the yes? And how can I let that flow of attention that we were playing with really combine so that I'm nourishing myself with yes? I'm nourishing myself with things that I'm stepping into. And then my fear melters can be about, yes, I can step into the unknown and be scared and receive that nourishment of the yes and of participating in life. So let me just take a little drink of water here. So that's our integrity card for today. And then our Presence Connect play. Let me just see what we have for today. Oh, there's presence. One of my favorites is find your feet. Find your feet. So, and when I've asked people to do this, in previous years, I've been in a workshop and I asked people to find your feet. A whole bunch of them would go like this. They'd be looking for their feet, which is to me such an illustration of how the culture wants us to relate to ourselves right now, which is from the outside. So fit in, control, don't look stupid, look like the other kids. And so finding your feet. So when I just take my attention, my loop of awareness to my feet, I get these little bursts of happiness. My feet are going, oh, yes, she noticed me. I'm way down here and she noticed me. And I can feel the bottoms of my feet and I experience a sense of connection to the ground that is calming and rooting, and very easy. So find your feet is such a quick and friendly way to presence. So here I am. And then when I'm here, then I can connect. That's why we do presence and then connect and then play. So connect is reflect feelings. So if you're speaking to somebody, a friend or a colleague or a partner, and you're noticing some feelings over there, you can reflect those. And part of what we do in our conscious listening, I think we have a whole body listening module on the foundation website. And one of the things that is so powerful is simply reflecting feelings. And when we're out in public, it's generally, people are not as available for you saying, oh, gosh, looks like something's going on. Like you're in the line at the cash register at a store, and you notice that the clerk has got feelings going on. You're not going to stop the whole transaction. And what you can do is use your loop of awareness to recognize, to affirm. So what I'm doing all the time when I'm talking with people and with my loop of awareness, I'm opening to the flow of feeling. And letting myself just recognize that and go, oh, yeah, that's the wave that's happening right now. And I'm literally just saying yes to that. Oh, yes. Oh, I can feel that in myself. I can feel that level of sadness. And as I'm continuing with my loop of awareness, that gives flow through the feeling so that I'm not stuck and the other person isn't stuck, but over and over, just by recognizing the feeling, we're connected. The other person gets it because our flow of attention is received. And so, even not saying, God, yeah, like, what's going on with you today? Geez, so it's not that level. Even with people I know really well, I go, geez, what happened? But that sense of, oh, something going on, and I can let myself just flow with that, with my loop of awareness. And sometimes I make little movements. I play with my breath. I shift my body. Little movements allow me to connect with me while connecting with what's going on out there. Yeah. And every time I have even just a little bit of movement, it's contagious. Other people will pick it up. And even if there's just a little bit of flow, it breaks up that logjam of just, being a log rather than being engaged in life. And then play is match and make bigger. Woo, this is one that is more recently in our Presence Connect play deck. So I think matching is magic. If I have something going on and I let myself match it, so letting myself the paint or sculpt. So just notice something going on inside you. It could be a feeling, it could be a series of thoughts. And then just take a moment to let your hands paint or sculpt that so that you're letting yourself match that without trying to change it, but just you're noticing what's going on inside and you're letting your hands paint or sculpt that. You can also do this with your awareness. You can let your awareness paint or sculpt it inside, but I find it most powerful to let my body paint or sculpt. It's very quick for me coming in and matching, and then make it bigger. So the matching, what you're feeling, so it might start out really, there's a little niggle going on in there. And then if you make that bigger, ooh, I just felt a whole bunch of streaming down my arms just from making it bigger. So you literally get more energy to play with and more impulse to play with, which creates more aliveness, more connection, more flow. Now, I want to suggest that you start doing this with people who love you. I will do this anywhere in the world, in airports, but when I'm in airports, I often do it with kids. So there'll be something going on. I'll match what they're doing, and I'll make it bigger, and then I toss it to them, and we have this little play just as I'm going by, on the walking thing. It's not an escalator, but what is that thing that goes back and forth? But anyway, so play. I was just saying the other day, how many more times have you seen the word fear than the word pleasure in media this year? I don't believe I've seen pleasure or joy, or people on the news talking about, oh, this just gave me such pleasure, and we had just such joy and joy. So I want to rebalance and really be focusing on the flow of play, the possibility of play that's here all the time for us, especially if we let ourselves shift out of serious critical brain. So yeah, thanks, Michael. So thank you so much for being here today and for sharing and for playing. Yeah, yeah. So please feel free to stay here and have more sharing with each other. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah. Take
Love
care.
your colors.
Oh,
Your
thank you. Oh, in
colors are
fact, before I just
beautiful.
have to show this to you. This I got a long time ago, and I love it.
Ah,
Yes, it's sort of
lovely.
butterfly-ish. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
magical
Yeah,
mystery.
thank you. Well, magical. Yeah, let's have more magic. All right. So lots of magic to you. Until next time.